YouTube. Hi everybody, it's Joel from Max and Luca RC here. Now I've got behind me, as you can see, a box, a very big box. It's my XMAXX. It's finally come. I'm pretty excited about it. It's sitting on the table here, and as you can see, it's big. It's very big, as you'd expect. These are my 1/8 scale Mugen buggies that are on the table with it. It's a pretty cool looking box, actually. It's a cool looking box. I'm pretty excited to get my hands on this, to be fair. So, factory sealed. Okay, so this is how it comes, basically. Okay guys, so here it is. This is the XMAXX, as you can see, and I don't want this to be a long video. I'm going to do some other videos showing different parts of the truck, and also obviously running videos and stuff. It's my cat scratching at that scratching post. Anyway, so yeah, just first impressions really. Well, it's very big, obviously. It looks really good. The body, the kind of paint job or the effect on the body is really nice. You've got your usual Traxxas control, so it's nothing special in that respect. Tyres feel really good. They feel that they're pretty soft. They generally, the actual treads are quite soft and flexible, but also the kind of compound feels quite nice and sticky. They're pretty firm though. The kind of, whatever's inside them, the foams, they're pretty firm. The way the body comes off, it's pretty cool. I quite like it. It's simple and yeah, it's quite a nice little idea. This rear section has 4 sort of attachment points on it, and it feels pretty sturdy. I like the way that it's kind of, I didn't realise it's got this, basically like a bit like a roll cage. It's attached here. It goes up through these plastic posts. And then it goes up through the body out to the front, and there's 4 attachment points there for that front attachment. So I quite like that. It feels pretty solid. Although the body itself, you know, it's not like a Proline body. It's kind of thin. Well, it's not thin. It's quite solid. I mean, I've had a Traxxas / 4x4, and the body lasted a long time. But then if you buy something like Proline, it is thicker and you know, a bit more hard wearing, I would say, than this. And this is again similar. It's kind of thin, but flexible and you know, it's reasonable. So yeah, that's good. And the body it generally looks really good. I like the red actually. Moving on to the truck itself, it's got this fuse wire in it, which I thought might have a fuse in it or something, you know, that you could see, but it's actually, it seems to just be a cable. So it's just a cable there. I'm guessing that it has a rating whereby if it pulls too much current, that cable will just burn out inside. That's what I'm guessing. So you'd have to replace that whole cable. It would be good if Traxxas included maybe several, you know, a few of these. If this becomes an issue, it would be annoying, obviously, to run it, to burn one of those out, and then have to, you know, have a truck that doesn't work. So. Hopefully that will save the ESC though, if it does burn out, rather than burning out and still having a damaged ESC. Generally, it looks good. It's well packaged. It you know, is what you'd expect, I suppose, from Traxxas for the price. You know, it's not cheap. I quite like these battery doors. They're very easy to use. You know, we'll see if my batteries actually fit well in there, but there's some foam in there and stuff like that. The plastics on the bumpers do feel quite, I mean, they feel pretty solid. And maybe a bit harder plastic than I expected, which maybe is because of the weight of this truck, but I kind of thought maybe they feel like they could snap, is what I mean, I suppose. When I kind of thought they might be a bit more flexible than they are. So they're made out of a kind of hard plastic, a bit like the chassis. That actual bumper section feels a bit like this kind of chassis plastic. The arms look thick and solid to me. I mean, as does the rest of it, really. I'm impressed with the way it looks. The shocks and the kind of the shock action, it's, you know, it's plush. It's pretty solid. And again, I quite like the look of it. There's nothing really that jumps out at me that I don't like, particularly. I'm going to do things like, you know, open up the diffs and have a look at that kind of thing and see how big they are, compare them to 1/8 size sort of diffs and stuff. But yeah, just the first impression of it, I like these sort of sidebars. You know, they feel very solid. The way the chassis sides are kind of quite high here and here, it encloses it quite well, so it looks like it would keep an element of the dirt that would just fly into the kind of chassis here out. The ESC does look pretty small sitting in there. You know, it sits here. It does look pretty small compared to the size of the truck, but you know, that's the way it is. All the gear mesh and stuff is covered up, so you can't see that. Big heatsink obviously on the motor. The motor is, again, something I'm going to get out and sort of compare to other size motors. It's quite fat, but it's not overly long, let's say. But I mean, obviously the specs are available for you to look at anyway. And something someone pointed out, which is true, it has got a plastic, well, I think it's end bell, I think you'd call it the end bell. The actual ends of the motor, so that the front and back of the motor are both plastic, which is a kind of first that I've seen, really. They're normally metal, aren't they? So on a brushless motor, so there's just that to comment on. But everything looks very neat. It looks very well put together, and I noticed some grease kind of around the diffs, around the bearings here. A little bit is just squeezed out from the diff case when it's been shut. So I'm guessing there's some grease around the ring and pinion gears. But as I say, I will have a look at that. So that's it, really. Just a quick unboxing, kind of first impressions of it. As I say, it looks... There we go. It looks pretty impressive. A couple of other things just to mention quickly is the Traxxas Link enabled controller. You need a part to use the wireless stuff, so you need to get a wireless module, so bear that in mind. So to access that, there is a temperature sensor I noticed on the motor, which is good, but I suppose you can't actually use it without that, or I'm guessing you can't use it. You get the usual few tools, you get a little sort of wheel wrench in there and a few other tools, but nothing amazing. But these wheel hexes are a funny shape, so you do need that hex wrench. You get some stickers, which is not important, of course. The usual Traxxas service stuff. It's a quick start guide, so it's not a manual. You don't have any parts diagrams in there. In the what to do if your Traxxas model breaks manual, you do have part numbers. You also get some battery spaces, of course, in there. So, as far as it goes, I like it. It's taken a long time to get it.